Thank you. All right, welcome back. We just had an executive session, so we're going to start the meeting the way that we usually do. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So thank you for being here once again tonight. This is November 6th Select Board meeting, and this meeting is being recorded and broadcast by local cable access television. We have a quorum. Select Board member Jamie Stebbins is not here tonight, but we have Jennifer, if you want to just introduce yourself, we'll go around.
Jennifer Stacy.
I'm Mark Lamb.
Dottie Fulgenetti.
Greg Barger.
And we have Town Administrator Connor Reed, Assistant Town Administrator Sean Dugan, and Executive Assistant Elizabeth Hegg. So our first item tonight is a timed agenda. It's a continuation of a public hearing under Town Code Section 44.2, a discussion and a vote to schedule the 2024 annual town election. The proposed date is Saturday, April 20th, 2024, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We started to talk about this at the last meeting. We had some questions, so Danielle volunteered or voluntold to come in and...
We're always happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Terrific. So I think that one of the questions Craig had was, we were looking at the dates. So traditionally for the week in April for the elections, we either have the election the Saturday before April vacation or the Saturday after April vacation. And Craig was asking, would the 26th be a doable date?
27th.
27th.
Sure. So actually, we've never had it the weekend prior to April vacation. Since we've started to do this, it's always been on the Saturday after April vacation.
Okay.
There are dates, I believe the charter says between the 15th and the 30th. And so what I've done and have been doing for the 4 years is sending that information to our partners, the school and the DPW, to ask them what works best for them. So that's where the 20th came from. Okay. And the question then was about the weekend before?
No,
or?
the question
weekend
was
after.
that's the weekend as the vacation ends.
Yep.
And that the question about turnout.
Yep.
So what I was saying, what's wrong with the 27th?
Sure. So it falls within the charter, so certainly it's one of the dates that you can pick. Again, speaking to our partners, it's the school district, obviously, is a big partner in us using the schools. And so it does cause complications for them, and that's why we've always chose that weekend. Setup also, so according to Dave Twombly, some of the things that would be a concern would be additional costs. Let's see, I asked them again for it. Additional costs maybe for overtime for the DPW, and then there's a potential of having to relocate some classes for that Friday in order for the DPW to not have to do it on a Friday night in order to set up. Whereas during a school vacation week, they're able to do the setup throughout the week.
I'm very confused. What Craig is suggesting
Yep.
is for it to occur on the 27th,
Correct.
the Saturday after the vacation.
Right, so Friday...
Everything you're saying points to that.
No, Friday the 26th, school's in session, so we wouldn't be able to do any of the setup. That's
Right.
why you usually do it...
The proposal of the 20th is the Saturday after
It's just
vacation.
End of vacation. At the end
Yes,
of vacation.
the 20th is the end of vacation.
Yes.
That's correct. And I was looking at the 27th
As being,
as being more,
okay.
because more people are around on that day than on the 20th coming back from vacation.
But usually also that means all the school activities are back in force.
Correct.
So that was one of the reasons that it was an incentive for us to want to have it on Saturdays, because when we do, for the state and federal elections, we do have to have them on a Tuesday, and sometimes the schools take a professional day that day. But when we have had elections in the past and there's school activities, it can be a little bit of mayhem. So it's preferable. And with the security concerns that people have right now, we did a lot of conversation about this, and it felt that it was better to have an election on a Saturday whenever possible, and keep the hours consistent and keep the Saturday consistent, so that a lot of people, not me, I'm not one of them, but a lot of people will say, oh, the second week of April is when this happens or that happens, and a lot of people do associate that day of election with the Saturday at the end of April vacation. So for consistency
It
is
is
important.
definitely an important factor. I mean, again, you have the right to make those dates despite, the partners saying that it would be the better date would be the 20th. You certainly can do that, but I would say whatever we do decide, that it is really important that we do have some consistency with the hours and the date. It does make a difference for voters when they come in. When we had to make all the changes in 2020 with the 2 different gyms and things like that, it did make for a more difficult process and needing to have more people on hand for logistics and things like that. But you did mention turnout, and so just to kind of touch base a little bit about turnout, 98% of what drives turnout is what's on the ballot. And so we have had several 0 contested races, both in 2023 and 2021, with a 2.6 and a 2.7% turnout. Obviously, very sad for everybody. We want people to come out and to vote. I did some cross-looking back in 2011, and whenever there was one race that was contested, but not a select board race, we had anywhere from 6% to 8.7%. That was consistently through all those, and then those years. And then the select board, whenever there was a contested race, was 17.2 to 34.7%. So, the data, and I could do this for state elections and things the alike. What's on the ballot? Look at this past weekend, right? Compared to other ones, there's something of interest on the ballot, and people will come out and vote. And also, just to point out, 2024 is a busy election year for us, for all of our partners too, because they're setting up for 4 different elections. The schools are going to have 2 elections likely in session this year on the same day because of the primary date, which hasn't been set, and the presidential primary. But one other thing to consider is the vote by mail ballot applications. So those applications for state elections, when the Votes Act was approved, that changed. And so every registered voter in Easton around January 15th is going to receive a postcard. And that postcard is going to ask them if they want to vote in the state primary, the presidential election in November, the March primary, or all elections in 2024. I'm going to tell you the statistics for when you do that in September, because we have those statistics. Most people check off all elections this year. And so most of them do get ballots that they don't remember why they've got it and don't send them back. But that is going to happen for our annual town election this year. My guess would be anywhere from 3,000 to 7,000 people are going to receive ballots for the annual town election in '24, whether they think they applied for them or not, because they are going to check off all elections this year. It'll be fascinating to see the data if there's no contested races, if by sending those, how many we get back. But the data we do have, the statistics for the September primary show that they request them, but they don't return them.
So the first thing I think that we want to talk about is, do we agree that the 20th is the proper date to have it
Seems to make sense.
with that information?
I mean, that's fine.
I mean, I think it was definitely worthwhile to ask the question.
Of course.
Honestly, I didn't really think of it myself. I thought of it for the consistency, but I wasn't thinking about all the work that goes into setting it up and how that has to be. It's preferable to do that when school's not in session, if you have a choice. So if we agree that it's the 20th, the other thing that we were kicking around was the hours of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yep.
So Mark, you had some comments about that.
Do we think that anybody is not able to go, despite there being, you can mail in people who want to go and vote in person? Are we losing anybody by restricting those hours to 6 hours? I understand there's added cost, but I know on a Saturday, me for example, if you take up the middle of the day, 10 to 4, that's when I'm doing stuff. I can get things done in the morning, and I can get things done in the evening. I'm not proposing that we open the polls 8 to 8 by any stretch, but what is the thought of saying let's open the polls at 8 and close them at 4, or open at 10 and close at 6? Just throwing it out there.
I think that, like Danielle said, it depends what's on the ballot. So the past,
But consistency is important too.
It's true.
right.
So that could go against what I just said.
Well, I was
right?
just going to
Right?
say.
Absolutely. So, but that being said, we could change it now. Like, what was it? A couple of years ago, we went from Saturdays 10 to 4.
It's been 4 years.
Has it been 4 years? Oh,
Yes.
wow.
So have you been there? So how many times have you been there at the end of the? So I know that we were there for our election.
I've been there
Right.
most elections. I can't recall everyone. At the end, there's like nobody, right?
Right.
But in the beginning, I mean, you said you were there and there was a line out the door. At 10, there was a line.
There were a lot of people. I don't know if there was a line or not.
There
but
was,
it?
and it was exciting to see. We have that a lot for
Yeah.
state elections, but we did see a line that was there at the beginning. It didn't form 45 minutes before the 10 o'clock time, but certainly when we were ready to open, there was a line in both of the doors to come in. Again, it was pretty exciting. I did do a little number crunching over the last 4 years for that, and we definitely have the least number who are coming at the end of the day, and the most that are coming at the beginning of the day at that 10 a.m. And a 2 p.m. seems to be a higher time slot that people are coming.
I suppose, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you're losing. There's no way to figure out if you're losing people's ability to vote.
I think for the morning, I would say that the morning and the night, the first year that we did it, I kind of stood near the door to kind of see if there was anybody who came in afterwards, because I was also curious about that. I think that we might have the first year had 1 or 2 that did, and since then that hasn't been the case. In the morning, this is the first time that I've actually seen, with the exception of sometimes soccer or whatever sport that's happening there, and people didn't even know there was an election, but then they saw the signs and kind of wanted to come in a little bit earlier during the game. But so I haven't seen like a trend of a lot of people being turned away between the vote by mail and then absentee. So we didn't have early voting in person for this election, but certainly people took advantage. I would say about 29 took advantage of voting absentee in person because they weren't going to be here in town on election day. So it's so many options now for the voters that I'm a little less worried than I used to be about that. But I understand what you're trying to do, and just to throw it out there, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but the tentative date for the hazardous waste day is the 20th, which is 8 a.m. to 12. That's what it usually is, and I don't know
And
if
they
that's
could go from-
again a good thing or a bad
Right to
thing.
vote.
But
Right to vote rather than disappear and.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, if you were, I like the idea of 8 to 4. It's a solid block of 8 hours. I don't propose going after 4 because I don't think anybody's really going to come after 4. However, this is a vote, and you guys can.
just to throw it out there, I mean, when you have, we can always add hours, but again, consistency. It's about $666 per hour additional cost for the workers. So just keeping that in mind. Again, if you don't have a large turnout, all we've really done is added the expense.
Understood. Again, you don't know what you don't know, and $660 for the opportunity for however many people to vote seems worth it to me.
Yeah, my guess is it'll just spread them out, the same number. It's what is on the ballot.
Yeah.
That's my opinion
Sid.
on it.
Shared my piece.
Yeah.
What do you think,
Obviously,
Craig?
you guys have a right to.
I think 10 to 4. I understand what Mark is saying, but I think 10 to 4 is fine from my perspective.
I agree. I think 10 to 4, I really don't think, if I thought that there was going to be that significant of a difference, I understand what you're saying. But I really don't. I think that you educate people to come at the times, and I really don't have an appetite to change it other than 10 to 4. I think the consistency is much more important.
Understood.
I don't know if we should give poor Jenna's coughing. It's the time of the year. I don't know if she'll come back in again, but.
To kind of talk to that, when we expanded all the voter options, there was some excitement to see turnout go up. And it really didn't. They were very consistent with other presidential elections, other state primary elections, and the like. It's just more options spread out for people to choose from. My guess is the same would happen to that, but again, it's a guess. So.
Yeah, I think we just should stick with the 10 to 4. I'm willing to go with the 20th, hoping that there's no athletic events that day because it was
We're good.
traumatic.
There's definitely less because of the school vacation week, but there are sometimes practices.
That's a little bit different than what was happening on Saturday.
Sure. Yep. I was pretty impressed with the DPW's suggestion to block off that other parking lot beforehand with 2 trucks. So we had an entire parking lot empty at 10 o'clock, which was wonderful.
And
to
then
see.
it filled up despite our
quickly.
best efforts.
Yeah, I know. It's a constant battle out there.
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is.
All right, well, I don't think Jen is going to be coming back, so Craig, if you'd like to make a motion.
So I move that we have the election at 10 to 4 on the 20th of April, 2024.
Second.
So that's Barger and Lamb, all in favor? Unanimous. Excellent. Thank you so much.
you, Danielle.
And thank you to you and to the team and all of the election workers. They really did such a great job. It's a long day, and everybody was so pleasant and professional, and they were really excited to be there. They were really excited about democracy in action, and it really shows. So
Well,
thank you
for
very
that.
much.
I appreciate it. It takes a lot of hands to do it, and they are a great team to work with. So I will pass that along to them. So thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay. What time are we at?
6:15.
So our next hearing is 6:30, so let's jump ahead to the one-day liquor licenses. Can I do that? So the first one we have is UNICEF Fall Flowers fundraiser at Oaks Ames Memorial Hall, 3 Barrow Street, November 21st, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., with a rain date of November 28th, 2023. So would you like to come up to the table? Thanks for being here. So Jennifer Smith has applied for a one-day beer and wine license for the UNICEF Fall Flower fundraiser to be held at Oaks Ames Memorial Hall Tuesday, November 21st from 6 to 9 p.m. An Easton police detail is not required for the event. So thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about the event.
The event is going to be obviously located at Oak Ames Memorial. I'm going to be working with the local florist, Wild Dahlia,
Oh, great.
another local vendor. And we're going to have, I think, a cap of 30 people max to come in just between, I think I have it from like 6:30 to 9. And it will be a combination of a fundraiser and just a community event itself with local residents or people that live just outside of Easton. And all proceeds will be going to UNICEF Global.
Okay. Is this an organization, or is this you? Is this your idea?
It's
that you're
just me.
Oh, that's great.
Just me. No, just kidding.
What a great idea.
And how do people get to know about it, and what's their ticket prices, et cetera? Is that?
So the ticket prices are $100, and $50 of that goes to the actual overhead of the event, and the other 50 goes direct to proceeds for UNICEF. I've been just kind of doing word of mouth through local networks, friends, pushing it out to individual invites. And hopefully people who watch this,
So-
maybe will know too.
So I would imagine Oaks Ames Hall is going to be promoting it on their social media, and the Wild Dahlia probably will
Yes,
as well.
yes.
So, and if not, somebody can reach out to Jen directly or reach out to us, and we'll connect you.
Oh, thank you very
So-
much. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, that's really great, and I think it's really nice for you to do that. Your kids see that you're doing something to give back, and I think that's really important.
It's a good time to do it.
Yes. Excellent. All right, Craig, would you
So
like
I
to make a
move to
motion?
authorize a one-day liquor license for UNICEF Fall River Flowers fundraiser, Oaks Ames Memorial Hall, 3 Barrow Street, November 21st, 2023, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., with a rain date of November 28th, 2023.
Second.
So that's Bodger and Lamb. All in favor? Unanimous. Excellent. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Eden. All right, let me see what time we're at now. So the next item that we have is the Lions Club Holiday Celebration, Oaks Ames Memorial Hall, 3 Barrows Street. The rain dates December 8th to the 10th, 2023. So this is a one-day beer and wine license for the annual holiday celebration. The sale of alcohol will be located in front of Oaks Ames Memorial Hall on December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. The rain dates of the 8th to the 10th are also requested. The Lions Club is working closely with Public Safety and DPW to ensure adequate police details and other safety measures for the weekend. So, is that you, Frank?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it doesn't have you in my notes. Do you want to come up
I
and,
guess
am I not reading it right?
this is on behalf of the Lions Club. Frank
Still-
Altieri has applied.
Oh, I just completely missed that.
I'm actually sitting in for one of the Lions Club members. Jim McSherry, my business partner, is also a Lions Club member, and he's involved in the committee. So again, this year, the Lions Club's holding their annual holiday event. It's going to be similar to previous years, pre-COVID, with the parade and the other things that are going on with it. More of the details will be coming out shortly on the Easton Lions website. That's eastonlions.org. So anyone else interested in finding out more about that can go there. It's a free event for people to come out to with various vendors that they might have for food and also for beverages.
Okay, great. Yeah, so the plug for the Lions Club, I'm a Lions Club member also, and they're working on all kinds of really great fun activities, from concerts at night. I know that one of them, Divas with a Twist, their tickets are on sale right now on the Oaks Ames Memorial Hall website and Facebook page. So keep an eye posted. It's really going to be fun family activities, and of course, great beverages from Shoveltown Brewery.
And others too.
And others. All right. Craig, do you want to make a
So I
motion?
move to approve the Lions Club Holiday Celebration one-day liquor license from December 1st through 3rd, with a rain date of 8 through 10 December, Oaks Ames Memorial Hall, 3 Barrow Street in Easton.
Second, Lamb.
So that's Bodger and Lamb. All in favor? Unanimous. Excellent. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Frank.
All right. And we have a road closure request for the Veterans Day Parade, November 11th, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. On Main Street from Washington Street to Sullivan Ave. So,
Good evening.
hello.
I am happy to be before you tonight saying the parade is going to happen. Luckily, I have been helped quite a bit this year by the VFW Commander Shaw and the Vice Chair of the American Legion, Teresa Podenko Poole. We also have had great support, as always, from DPW, Police and Fire, and are looking to have another great event. This year we'll be welcoming back the American Legion Band from Canton. This is the first time they'll be back with us since COVID, so that's pretty exciting to have the two bands, the Olive Rames Band as well as the Legion Band. Once again, we'll be asking to keep Sullivan Street closed so that we can continue the festivities after the celebration and the ceremony. There'll be a food truck there. Flashback Franks will be there with his hot dogs and beverages and chips. We'll have some games, some tables, and hopefully, right now it looks like good weather, so hopefully people will come out and take some time to socialize and thank their veterans and enjoy the day.
Always a great event. Always.
Should people bring cash?
I do not know the answer to that. There will be some food that will be free as part of the celebration. Once we reach that limit, I'm not sure if he's cash only or if he does accept cards, but we can get that up on the postings
Yeah.
that we'll be doing.
I would say if people are watching this and they're thinking about it, bring cash to be on the safe side, because sometimes the food trucks do not take credit cards or debit cards. So, all right, excellent. Anybody have any comments or questions?
No.
So,
Move to approve the road closure request from the Veterans Day Parade, November 11th, 2023, from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Main Street from Washington Street to Sullivan Ave, and from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Sullivan Ave from Main Street to Oliver Street.
Second, Lamb.
so that's Bodger and Lim. All in favor? Unanimous. Excellent.
Thank
Thank you,
Kristen.
and thank you for pinch hitting and putting this all together.
Thank you.
So, let me see. The next item that we have is a Green Communities Committee appointment, Cody Mandanisi. Cody had reached out to us on Friday and withdrew his request to be appointed. His schedule had changed, and so he no longer had time to do that. So we're just going to, do we have to do anything, or just,
You just take no action.
we'll take no action on that? The next one is Old Colony Planning Council delegate appointment, Jean Marie Joyce, for a term expiration of June 30th, 2024. Hang on.
This is a reappointment.
This is a reappointment. Hold on one second. Let me see where it is. We would consider the reappointment of Jean Marie Joyce, the town's longtime Old Colony Planning Council delegate, to an additional term to expire on June 30th, 2024. Old Colony Planning Council is the regional planning agency, and so that delegate attends their monthly meetings to advocate for Easton for all kinds of attention from the regional planning agency for funding and for resources to help us with our planning and other activities, transportation, housing, economic development in Easton. And Jean Marie has served us well over the years, and we're excited that she wants to be reappointed. So if you'd like to make a motion, Craig?
So I move to reappoint Jean Marie Joyce to the Old Colony Planning Council, a delegate to the Old Colony Planning Council. Term expiration is June 30th, 2024.
Second.
So that's Bodger and Lamb, and this will be a roll call vote.
Stacy Joyce?
Lamb Joyce?
Full Janetti Joyce?
Barger Joyce.
Excellent. All right.
14 and 15's quick.
Okay, so we're going to skip over to 14. We can't start our next hearing until 6:30 on the dot, so we're trying to find some quick things to get there. Item 14 is an acceptance of a donation to the police department from Steve and Carol Green. The Greens have been very generous sponsors to the police and fire, and we really appreciate their generosity. They will receive a thank you letter from the police chief, and I would take a motion and a second to accept this donation with gratitude.
So moved, Barger.
Second, Lamb.
Bodger and Lamb, all in favor? Unanimous. And 15, we have a resignation from the Human Rights Committee, Jennifer Antebbe. Her seat was expiring on June 30th, 2025. And we thank Jennifer for her time and interest on the Human Rights Committee and accept her resignation with regret.
So moved, Barger.
Second, Lamb.
That's Bodger and Lamb, and this is a roll call vote.
Debbie?
Full Janetti Antebbe?
Barger and Tebby.
Right. We're at 6:27. Let me see. Why don't we do the minutes? Can I get it? Can I get a motion to accept the minutes of October 25, 2023?
So moved, Barger.
Second, Lamb.
Bodger and Lamb, all in favor? Unanimous.
Dottie, if you want to do item 13, I would imagine that's 3 minutes. And that's the only thing Dave
Sure.
has on the agenda.
Okay, Dave, come on up. We have a vote for contract DPW 2022-05, change order number 1, Hart Engineering, and that's for Red Mill Road, their water treatment plant.
Good evening, Dave Field, Director of Public Works. This project is the construction of the Red Mill Road Water Treatment Plant. Hart Engineering Corporation is our general contractor. This is the first change order. This project's been going on almost 2 years, so that's pretty good as far as construction projects go. This is a change order for several different items in the total amount of $23,305.17. It will bring the total contract value to $12,147,205.17, and it'll be funded through available project contingency of over $1 million.
Okay.
I'm happy to go through the items, but basically this is just normal construction operation. There's some credits, there's some additional charges for various items. I believe 8 items in general that make up the total change order. Happy to answer your questions.
Okay, I don't think we have to go through the list
No,
if
I
anybody
don't
has
have
any.
questions. We looked at the stuff that was in the package.
Yes.
All right,
So I move to approve contract DPW 2022-05, change order number 1, Hart Engineering Corporation, Red Mill Water Treatment Plant, in the amount of $23,305.17.
Second.
so that's Bodger and Lamb, all in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for being here tonight. Okay, we are now at 6:29.
You have to step outside and get it out. You okay? Be good. Don't be.
Okay, so this is 6:30 right now, our timed public hearing. This is consideration to exercise the right of first refusal under Mass General Law, Chapter 61A, Section 14, and possible purchase regarding 69 Howard Street. At the October 4th meeting, the Affordable Housing Trust voted to ask the Select Board to exercise the town's right of first refusal to purchase a parcel of land at 69 Howard Street. The trust also authorized $200,000 in available funds for the purchase and has additional funds for miscellaneous legal and permitting costs. The chair of the Affordable Housing Trust has been invited, and the community planner, Wayne Beitler, will be present to answer any questions. We did talk about this in executive session, and we would like to continue this hearing to the next meetings and authorize the town administrator to work with the attorneys of 69 Howard Street to get some additional information to help us make a decision.
So I would just ask that, and I'm sorry, did you, Craig, read the hearing?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
We
I'm
do
sorry.
have to procedurally open the hearing before it's continued.
All right, the Easton Select Board will hold a public hearing at 6:30 PM on Monday, November 6, 2023, in the Colleen A. Corona Boardroom, Easton Town Offices, 136 Elm Street, Northeastern Mass. The hearing will consider the town's exercise of its right of first refusal under Chapter 61A, Section 14, for an approximately 1.38 acre parcel of land at 69 Howard Street, Southeastern Mass, 02375, also known as Tax Parcel 20R-86.
So,
And so if the board
That's it.
were to continue it, we just need to have a date and time certain. We've checked our schedule. Your next regular meeting that's not the night of town meeting is December 4th, and I think 6 PM was available, Elizabeth? Or, so you could continue it to December 4th at 6 PM if you would like.
so can I get a motion to continue this hearing to December 4th at 6 PM?
So moved, Barger.
Second, Lamb.
Barger and Lamb, and is this a roll call or just regular? We'll do roll call just in case.
Stacy, yes?
Lamb, yes?
Full Janetti, yes?
Barger, yes.
Okay. The next item that we have is public hearing at 6:35?
It's not. We should just take a 2-minute break. The other items won't fit in between.
Okay.
I would recommend.
We're just going to wait 2 minutes, and we have to start them exactly on time. So at 6:35 will be the next public hearing. Okay, it's 6:35. Thank you, Joe.
The Select Board of Easton, as licensing authorities, will hold a public hearing at the Colleen A. Corona Boardroom, 136 Elm Street, Easton, Mass, on Monday, November 6, 2023, at 6:35 PM to consider an act upon the application of, and sorry if I butchered the name, Padhardari LLC, doing business as E-Market Convenience in Delhi, for a new Section 15 off-premises package store wine and malt beverage license and common victrola license for premises situated at 285 Washington Street, Unit 6, Easton, Mass, with a plan on file at the Select Board's office.
Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Board. My name is Matthew Porter. I'm an attorney of Vera and D. John Filippo, 480 Turnpike Street in southeastern Mass. I'm the attorney for Prashadari LLC. Alongside me is Samir Kumar Patel. Mr. Patel is one of the principals of the LLC. Also with us tonight is Krushesh Patel, who's the other principal of the LLC, as well as Hardik Patel. Hardik is the proposed license manager. He'd be the person there 40 hours a week managing the store location. So before the board, this is an application for a new wine and malt, beer and wine license. This is for E-Market Convenience and Deli, which is over at the Northeastern Village Shops. These folks bought the store about a month ago, a little over a month ago. And since that point, in conversations they had, leading up to it, and in conversations they had with the customer since then, there's been a lot of requests or inquiries into whether there's any beer or wine sales. And so really that's the purpose of the, application before us. They do feel that there's a public need, certainly within their customers' requests. It's also getting far more difficult to operate a convenience store. The margins are down. There's a lot of online sales. The Amazons of the world, the larger box stores have made it more difficult. And so, any little bit helps keep the business sustaining, which is what they're trying to do. There's no idea for any major changes at the store whatsoever. They want to keep the convenience and the groceries going. They're in conversations right now with a couple franchises to come in and operate the deli, which they want to get back up and running as well. So really this is more so an ancillary item, something that will allow for their customers to have a one-stop shop and something that will allow them to sustain their business, going into the future. And there's certainly no inclination that they're going to operate as a full liquor store or try to compete with those. I mean, that's an entirely different animal, altogether. So they're a very experienced operating group. Samir has 2 stores up on the North Shore, 2 full liquor stores that he's operated without any issue whatsoever. Samir and Hardik as well have experience. All 3 of these individuals are alcohol tip certified. If approved by the town and the state, they would also install a state-of-the-art scanning machine, which they have in place at their other stores, which has software that's built in that's able to keep up with this ever-changing, market of fake identification. So this is their livelihood. They take it very seriously, and they believe with their experience, they'd be able to run a very sound operation. So with that, I can certainly answer any questions that the board may have, and the Patels can as well.
We first of all want to thank you for selecting Easton to bring your business and to operate in our town. And we're grateful for you to do that. And I just want to really speak to the terms of the liquor license. So Easton cares a lot about its liquor licenses. We are a college town. The college is basically across the street. And we do want to let you know, and you'll know as you learn, that there are compliance checks during the year. A compliance check means that somebody comes in and they try to buy alcohol. If they don't get carded, doesn't matter if they look 60 or 20, card everybody. So I'm glad to hear that you're going to have that, because the worst day that we have is when people fail the compliance check, and there's always a reason. It's a sad story. We don't like seeing you again, except for ribbon cuttings and happy things. We don't like people coming back before the board because there was a compliance failure. It's not good for you or your business, and we certainly don't like to hand out penalties for it. So I say that to everybody. And we really appreciate the fact that you take it seriously and that your people are tip certified. So that makes it a win-win for everybody then. And having the deli, I know that that's a pretty popular feature there, and happy to hear that you're going to continue that as well. Excellent. Any questions or comments, Craig?
I have none, no.
Mark?
Echo everything you said about the college town, and we are strict with repercussions of not following that. So.
Jen?
Agreed, and the only reason we don't have more questions is because you covered everything very thoroughly, in terms of certification and
Sure.
other aspects of their experience, so thank you.
All right. Do you have any questions for us? Okay. Craig, will you want to make a motion?
Move to approve a new Section 15 off-premises store, wine and malt beverage license, doing business as E-Market Convenience and Deli, 285 Washington Street, Easton, Mass.
Second.
So that's Bodger and Lamb. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Welcome to Easton. And if you ever have any questions or anything, please reach out to our office. We're happy to help you.
Sure, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very much.
Dottie, if I could just ask, if the board could just take a second motion to approve the associated common victular's license, because that's in the
Oh.
hearing as well.
Okay, yes.
They're fine, but just for the record, if we could have that as
Okay.
well.
Also approve the common victualer's license for
Second,
E-Market Convenience and Deli.
second Lamb.
So that's Bodger and Lamb. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. So you got both.
Thank you.
So the next hearing, 6:40. Craig, you want to read that one?
Absolutely. Select Board of Easton as licensing authorities will hold a public hearing at the Colleen A. Corona Boardroom, 136 Elm Street, Easton, Mass. On Monday, November 6th, 2023 at 6:40 PM to consider and act upon the application of the Thai Food Theory Corp. doing business Thai Food Theory for a new Section 12 on-premises wine, malt, and cordial beverage license for premises located at 574 Washington Street, Easton, Mass., with a plan on file at the Select Board's office.
Hi, my name's Jarani Chansina, and I'm the owner of Thai Food Theory Corp.
Thank you for being here tonight. So congratulations. It seems like we saw you a while ago, and
Yes.
you've recently opened down at the marketplace.
Yes, we did about almost 2 months.
That's excellent. How's business going?
The business is going really well. The first day was really crazy. A lot of customer came from the Easton town, and then also from a previous customer from Brockton also.
Well, it was quite a buzz on social media. Everybody was talking about getting down there, so
It's really good.
I've heard wonderful things about it. I haven't gotten there yet myself, but I want to get there soon. So really happy to hear that it's successful for you. And this next step of getting let me see, I want to just use the right terminology, the wine, malt, and cordial beverages license, I'm sure will really strengthen your business as well.
Yes.
So any comments or questions?
What are your hours?
The hour will be 11:30 to 9 o'clock.
Okay. So just like we told the previous organization before yours, I'm just going to say it again for the record, that we are a college town. We care a lot about not serving underage young people. And the restaurants as well as liquor stores do have a compliance check a couple of times a year. Again, it's not a trick with a fake ID. It's somebody's going to come in and they're going to ask for a drink. If they don't get carded, you'll fail the compliance. So just make sure that all your servers are aware of that. If you hire new people, you have to let them know. When somebody fails a compliance and they come before here, it's terrible for us and it's terrible for them. And when we have to issue a penalty, it's anywhere from 1 to 5 days, depending on the number of times this has happened. We don't want to hurt a local business. We're champions of small business, and it hurts us if we have to take away the license for a day, because that could be quite a bit of money for a restaurant particularly. So just make sure all your people are trained, tip certified. If you have any questions or you need any resources on us being able to help you get the information you need to do that, be sure to reach out to Sean anytime. We're here to help you be successful.
Thank you so
So.
much.
All right, if there's no comments or questions,
So I move to approve the new Section 12 on-premises restaurant wine, malt, and cordial beverages license for Thai Food Theory Corp. doing business as Thai Food Theory, 574 Washington Street, Easton, Mass.
Second Lamb.
so that's Bodger and Lamb, all in favor? Unanimous. Congratulations again, thank you for choosing Easton, and we wish you great success.
Thank you.
All right.
Looks good, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Next, we have the Taxation Aid Committee update, and we have a presentation from Andrew.
I'm not sure where
He's not here?
Andrew is.
All right, let's skip that one for now. Item 10 is to authorize the Affordable Housing Trust to sell 26 Pequonnet Avenue to South Shore Habitat for Humanity, and to authorize Town Administrator Connor Reed to sign any and all necessary documents.
Sure, I think 10 and 11 are actually basically a bundle, both of which community planner Wayne Beitler can speak to.
Exactly.
Thanks for being here, Wayne.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
It's always great to talk affordable housing with you.
Thank you all for your support over the years that we've been doing this. It's very, very much appreciated. As the briefing memo submitted in advance explains, you've already approved these sales by the Affordable Housing Trust to South Shore Habitat for Humanity. We are updating the form of vote and the vote document itself to make just one small change. We're doing a affordability restriction, a covenant that's going to be recorded with it, and it authorizes the town administrator to sign that. And Habitat went to close on Pequannock 2 weeks ago, and the registry had some suggestions on changing the structure of the vote, the format of it. And they also wanted it on letterhead, so they knew what it was. And we're like, even if it says it's a vote, we're like, okay. So what you see before you is revoting or reauthorizing the sales that you did a couple of years ago, and also authorizing the town administrator to sell the sign the restrictive covenants.
Okay. And Habitat for Humanity is going to be the owner of each property. Are they going to be building those consecutively, or when is
I
that
think
supposed to start?
sequentially, they've gotten, depending on what time it is tonight, they may be getting their final approval for the two-family from the planning board. That's happening right now for Morse Road. They've already gotten their variance for an undersized lot at 26 Pequannock, and they do want to start demolishing the existing deteriorated building and hopefully getting a foundation in so they can get some work started there. So that's going to be the first one.
Is that going to be a single family, or?
It's going to be a single family, and we've asked that they try to be a little flexible with it. So they're going to, because you could have a walkout basement there. And so the idea is if you have a larger family that needs more bedrooms, or say has a multi-generational family, that they would be able to build it out to accommodate that. Because there's a very small real need of what do you do with a family that has like 5 family members, or a in-law or a grandparent, or more than 3 or 4 kids. There's really not a lot of housing for those family needs. So should they get a family that has those needs, we wanted to have the option of having a larger home.
I think that's a great idea. Excellent. Anyone have any question on these?
No, I think it's great.
I guess I would just want to make a comment about Habitat for Humanity. They've been a really great partner to Easton on a number of projects. One of the projects that they had, I volunteered. The Lions Club, as an organization, asked for volunteers to come and work for the day. And so when I went, I thought I was volunteering to get coffee and hand people tools, and they handed me a tool belt and a hard hat and said, go nail these things, and they find a job for everybody, no matter how talented or lack of talent you have. I didn't hurt myself or break anything, so that was great. But I have to tell you, it was one of the most rewarding days that I had. It was hard work. It was really team building, working with some other members of the Lions Club. A day that I won't forget, and they were just really kind. And then to come on the day that they have the ribbon cutting, there's nothing happier than that day to see a family be able to come to Easton and have a house. So when the time comes and people see that, Habitat for Humanity has volunteering opportunities, not just sweat equity, but also financially. They have a gala every year. And if people are interested, keep their eyes open for opportunities to help organizations. They ask them to take a day, maybe some of the banks or some places that want to do that, they can send some of their employees. And it's a real team building, great fun day to do that. So that's my little plug for Habitat.
They are a joy to work with.
Yeah, excellent. All right, Craig?
So I have a Town of Easton Select Board certificate of vote. I hereby move that the Town of Easton Select Board authorize the Easton Affordable Housing Trust to sell a parcel of land and any improvements thereon, known and numbered as 26 Pequannock Ave in Easton, Massachusetts, for the price of 50 cents, to South Shore Habitat for Humanity for construction of permanently affordable family housing. Further, to authorize the Chair, Nikki Dostumian, to execute and enter into any and all documents necessary to effectuate the sale of said property, and further, to authorize the Town Administrator, Connor Reed, to execute a so-called Affordable Housing Declaration of Restrictions and Covenants by and between the town of Easton and South Shore Habitat for Humanity in connection with the sale of 26 Quanticut Avenue, Easton, Massachusetts.
Second.
So that's Bodger and Lamb, all in favor? Unanimous. So that would be 4-0 on the count there.
All right, you want me to read the second one? I hereby move the town of Easton Select Board authorize the Easton Affordable Housing Trust to sell a parcel of land and any improvements thereon known and numbered as 10 Morse Road in Easton, Massachusetts, for the price of 50 cents to South Shore Habitat for Humanity for construction of permanently affordable family housing, and to further to authorize the chair, Nikki Dostumian, to execute and enter into any and all documents necessary to effectuate the sale of said property, and further to authorize the town administrator, Connor Reed, to execute a so-called Affordable Housing Declaration of Restriction and Covenants by and between the town of Easton and South Shore Habitat for Humanity in connection with the sale of 10 Morse Road, Easton, Massachusetts.
Second, Lamb.
So that's Bodger and Lamb, all in favor? Unanimous. Excellent. Thank you so much, Wayne. We appreciate it.
Want us to sign these
Thank you.
tonight?
We'll do that tonight and
Okay.
we'll circulate them
Okay.
back.
All right.
Yeah, that would be great. And then I think also the town clerk needs to certify it.
We'll have them for planning in the morning.
Thank you, really appreciate it.
Thanks for being here tonight.
Great night.
Thank
Thank you, Wayne.
Okay, next we have
Andrew's here.
yep, I'm just trying to find it on my
Number 9.
number 9. Taxation Aid Committee update, presentation from Andrew Fleischer. Chair, come on up, Andrew. She's leaving you hanging.
That's okay, I'm ready.
Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. So, I just want to provide an update as to where we are as a fund this year, what we've done in the past fiscal year, and what we have planned for the next year. So I'll start by talking about this fiscal year. So currently, we're in an open application process for aid. This is our last year where we have ARPA funds available from the federal government. We have $100,000 that we can give essentially as grants to homeowners to pay their tax bill. So right now, we have about 50 or 60 applicants for about 71 slots, 71 grants of $1,400 is the way I like to think of it. So part of why I'm here tonight is I want to kind of spread the word that there's still time to apply. We are also going to do after the 17th, we're going to evaluate the applications in January, and we'll let everybody know the decisions. But then again in the spring, we'll do another round to try and, if there's any money left over, if we didn't quite get to $100,000, we're going to do another round in the spring to see if we can give out some more. That's helpful for people who we base our decisions mostly off of income tax returns that we look at. So a lot of times people will apply for aid and they'll have one-off scenarios on their income tax returns where they earned a little more money than they normally would. So they can apply again in the spring based off of their 2023 tax returns after they file those, and it gives people a second shot if their scenario has changed. So I just want to go over the criteria for a second. So this is for people who are disabled or over the age of 60 and have held the title on their property for at least 1 year. We are, the committee decided to use the area median income of the Easton Raynham area as the threshold. So in order to be eligible for aid for this year, a household of 1 would have to make under $66,300, a household of 2, $75,750, and then it goes up for each member in the household. So that is this year's application process, which I think is going well. We learned a lot from last year. Last year we had 73 applicants for aid and 59 households were approved. So we were able to award $82,600 in 2023, which I would like to give it all out, but we're limited by $1,400 a household, and I feel like we reached as many people as we could. So to add some color to the people who come, to give you guys an idea of the people who come before the committee, the average applicant that we approved in 2023, their income was, the household income was $32,418. Their average property tax bill was around $6,000. So for a lot of people, this is their largest expense. They've paid off their mortgage, they have pensions or Social Security, and that's it. They're on a fixed income. In a lot of cases, we see people who have exhausted all of their opportunity for other aid. We have a section on our application where we ask people to list the aid that they get. Food stamps, the circuit breaker credit, other things like that. And it usually, they check all the boxes, but they're still falling short of being able to afford their tax bills. That's where I transition into my next point. As of July of 2024, the committee will no longer be eligible to receive any money from the federal government that was there because of ARPA. So we will, from that point forward, will be solely dependent on donations. So you've seen it. We send out in the property tax bill or the excise tax bill, we put a flyer in there, and we ask people while they're paying their bills to just give us a little extra. So as you can understand, the pitch has become a little harder to make these days. You know, with interest rates increasing, property tax bills increasing, it is hard to get people to give a little extra while they already feel like they're giving as much as they can to just pay their tax bills. But people do donate. We have $9,800 in our fund to date, and most of that is from donations from when we started as a committee back in early 2021. We got about $3,800 in donations so far this year. So this pales in comparison to the $100,000 a year that we were getting from ARPA. So we are going to have to go back and, you know, into next year, into next fall, we're going to have to go back and reconsider these applications, scrutinize the amount of, scrutinize the income limits, probably lower them, scrutinize, you know, the age requirement, the residency requirement, all as a way to try and target the people who need the money the most. So part of my appeal tonight is that if anybody watching or if anybody you know is able to make a donation, please consider doing so. Donations are accepted online. It's the same place that you go to pay your property tax bill or your water bill. There's an option that says make a donation. Also, it's an appeal to you folks. If you have any ideas of how we can supplement our fund going forward in the next fiscal year, please let me know. I'd love to hear. We kind of went so quickly because we were created as a committee in December of 2020. So we were thrown right into the ARPA funding, which was fantastic. So now we have to kind of pivot. We're lucky in that we were able to do that for a while, but we have to pivot and think of other ways to raise money and to raise awareness about, you know, the need. So that's it. That's what I have for you. gotta say.
So how much money would you be trying to fundraise? $80,000, $100,000, or?
You know, I'm only limited by my imagination. You know, so
How big is your imagination?
big. Well, so I guess in an ideal world, we gave out $82,600 last year. And with that we were capped at being able to give $1,400 a person. So if in an ideal world, if we could get $100,000 a year, that would be fantastic. We could do a lot of good with that. You know, I think I don't know if that's realistic. We're going to have to decide as a committee, you know, what will be sustainable for us to give out based off of what we can take in, and if it's only $3,800 a year, we're going to have to really reconsider things.
So Mark, I'd love for you to talk first, because this was your brainchild. You and Tom Broussard before you both really wanted to pursue this. So what are your thoughts?
First off, thank you for all that you do. It was exceptionally informative. You should be you and the committee should be really proud of what you've done. $1,400 for these people makes up double-digit percentages in their life. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to not being able to provide that sort of number and that sort of relief. That's an incredible amount of relief for these people. Mm-hmm. And what you do is fantastic. I share your concern about where to go moving forward. You know, we were blessed with a lot of money out of the gate, and going back, you know, to go $3,800 and having to divide. Clearly, there's a need, mm-hmm. right? We've established there's a need. There's a lot of people applying, and you're even turning people away under a threshold of $33,000.
No, I don't.
The threshold's
Just want to
not
correct.
30.
Yeah, no. And they're not being
All right, the
turned
threshold
away.
is 60. Is it 66?
Yes, for an individual.
For
this
an
current
individual.
year,
Yep.
Currently, but you're going to have to change that.
yeah, we're gonna have to change that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
And we're think about how low we're gonna have to make it if currently.
how
the
low and
average
how
is
much you're going to
30.
have to divide 3,800, so it's not meaningful. I mean, it's meaningful. I don't want to dismiss that, but
Far less.
it's far less. It's not double-digit percent of relief.
Mm-hmm.
It's $100. You know, I mean, they're not going to sleep better. So thank you. You're doing an amazing job, and I agree with you. We need to figure out a way to get that fund back to where it needs to be to provide real relief to people, especially in this economy with everything that's going on. People need that desperately, and we need to provide that.
I think one thing that might be a good idea is a lot of people watch local cable access, and there's several people that like to do interviews, and there's podcasts and things like that. We could make connections and introductions to you to go on and do those, and maybe those could run, you know, every time there's a quarterly before the tax bills, to just bring awareness and remind people about it, because people are busy. We don't always remember all these little, you know, we've got so much information coming at us, but if there was like a real information campaign right beforehand, not just like donate money because of this, but to give, like, your stories that you told tonight are really compelling, and the type of people that are really appreciating this kind of assistance. I think it would be really a great idea to at least try that, maybe to do a social media campaign along with that, and some other reminders.
I do make efforts on social media with the help from Connor's office, and I reach out to whatever I can.
Yeah.
So I will add that to my list.
I do think.
Go ahead.
Our office and Wendy and Linda will do another deep dive on the ARPA regs as well, and look at, are there any other options there, because they have some nuance between 2024 and 2026 on encumbrances versus spending, to see if there's any more opportunity there, and take a look at what other ways we could try from the municipal side to be helpful. And so we'll do that through this winter. We'll work with Andrew and report back to their committee in the spring, and see if there's a way we could try to continue to sustain it.
Yeah, I think that, you know, getting pledges, you know, because you're always going to be under the gun every year. It's like, after you spend it, you're back to zero again. So we really need to find something that can be sustainable and replicated every year, but also not keep going back to the same sources that might not be able to continue to contribute every year. I've got some ideas in my head, but I don't want to throw them out here and brainstorm on live TV. So, but I think
I'll catch up with you offline.
yeah,
for sure.
I think the board would be really happy to try to work together with you and your team to think of some ideas.
Yeah, I just don't want to be nearsighted, so I want to get ahead of this now.
That's smart.
Thank you for that.
A year from now, I don't want to come back to you guys and tell you we only have, $5,000 to go.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
Jen?
I had some ideas as well, but I think largely the program is a victim of the fact that for most of us, for a lot of people, paying your taxes is set it and forget it.
Yeah.
And I literally just forget to think about it when I open that mail for taxes because I'm so excited to be like, I don't have to pay this bill because it's paid for me. So
That's why I try and get it in the excise tax bills,
Yeah.
because that one you have to pay.
And I think that sometimes people think, I can only do $20 or $50. That's not going to make a difference. But if if every taxpayer in this town said, I'm going to throw in $20, it would make a meaningful difference. So.
Absolutely.
once I almost wish there were a way to opt in at the bill level where it would say like I could voluntarily round up to some other amount and then set it and forget it in some way.
So we do have, we do put it in the flyer, or Linda puts it in the flyer where there's a check box. You can check $50 or $100. The rounding up or the adding of money makes it a little more complicated on her end, but she will accept it that way, right, Linda? If it comes. Well, I shouldn't say that on a broadcast meeting.
I think you'd need specific software to be able to do that.
So we prefer separate checks and separate payments. It's much easier on Linda.
That makes sense.
I'll leave it at that.
Well, one thing that you mentioned that you said that you've learned a lot from the first year to the second year, you know what that means. You're going to have to stay on this committee because every year that you learn, you're the expert in this now. So we really need you more than ever now, and really we're all very grateful for you and the other people on that committee for your real thoughtful and compassionate dedication, because it really is something that is important to all of us.
Thank you. It really is a team effort from all of us, and just to say that Linda and the other members of the town government who are associated with the committee have been beyond helpful, and Linda and I know Corey's no longer with us.
He's moved on to
Move
on to
on,
good
yeah,
things.
moved on. Yeah. We're extremely helpful resources. So
Yeah.
it is truly a team effort.
All right, excellent.
And I think, and I'm sorry, Andrew, if you said it, as far as applications, folks can get on our website, they can apply,
Yep.
right? Oh, it's on the front page, good.
Yeah, so you can apply, there's an application on the website. I believe there's applications available in Town Hall.
Yes, it says hard copies are in the treasurer's office, the assessor's office, Frothingham Hall, and the Ames Free Library, and that deadline's the 17th of November. But from what you just said, it sounds like if anyone comes in after that, you do another look in the spring.
Yeah, we won't roll in their application, but we will encourage them to apply in the spring.
Okay.
If anybody comes in late.
Awesome.
And then also when if we have to tell people that they aren't eligible, we tell them that they should apply again in the spring.
That's great.
Just to get as cast a wide net as we can.
Yeah, and I would like to echo what the board said, that we're really appreciative of you and your committee members that, when the American Rescue Plan funds came down to this level, and there was provisions in there that said, municipal governments could get in the business of doing direct financial assistance or grants to individuals. In Massachusetts, and in Easton, we don't have an administrative state large enough to usually do something like that. Mm-hmm. And certainly with federal funds that are audited so heavily, they really want to see that there's a rigorous application and review process. And so it's hard to say with anything with COVID, but the timing did kind of line up that, the town had adopted this initially as a donation-driven program, but because of the good language in the state law and the great application process that the committee adopted, auditors were able to look at that and feel comfortable using the federal money for that, and that's done an enormous amount of good for people who really need it, and put that money to really good work, and so we appreciate you doing that. It's really impactful work.
Thank you.
And just who are the other members of your committee? I think that the public should hear.
Yeah. So it's Megan Ferguson. We just then we have Linda and Scott Timilty at the moment because he is the chair of the Board of Assessors, and Kumeta Mildred just left us. She was with us from the beginning, and we are welcoming a new member soon. Don't ask me his name off the top of my head.
Daniel Hickson.
Daniel Hickson, yeah.
Excellent.
All right, great. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, and
Thank
thank
you.
you, Linda, for all of your help with this as well. All right. I think the only thing that we have left is discussion on public safety and public works facilities replacement. Next steps.
Sure, thank you, Dottie. So this weekend, voters of Easton approved the debt exclusion to pay for the bonds to construct new police, fire, and public works facilities throughout the town of Easton. So really incredible project, an incredible opportunity for the town to hopefully have thus far earned that trust, and we're going to continue to have a lot of work cut out for us to continue to prove it out, so that we can design and build appropriate, healthy, modern, effective spaces for our first responders and public workers to take care of them, so they take care of us for the next 50 or more years. So we're really appreciative and extremely grateful to the public who participated in the election, but also all those who came out for town meeting on October 23rd, folks who came to meetings, forums, tours, caught up with us at festivals, concerts. We really tried very hard, particularly in the fall of this year, to get as many places as we possibly could to get information out there. And so we really appreciate everyone getting engaged throughout. And so this is going to start now a 3-year plus process to design, bid, and build the facilities. We'll be sharing updates with the public regularly as we go through that, and I have some particulars on that I'll get to. The discussion with Andrew is apropos. The town has appreciated throughout the entirety of this project kind of the scale and complexity of what we asked voters to consider. And I think the close margins show that, I think, paid appropriate respect to throughout. This was a tough decision. This just doesn't have state grant money or other things like that. There's no kind of easy way to do this, and just because it's approved, I know I speak for all of us that none of us are saying, okay, great, and let's spike for football here and move on. This can create a meaningful burden for some, and we have to continue to redouble our effort working with committees like Andrew's to make resources available where we can. We'll be filing this week the special legislation with the state for the senior exemption tax program, and we'll be keeping folks up to date on that as well. But we really do appreciate the folks who took the time to get engaged, to get educated on this, and to weigh in. And no matter how folks voted on it, respect that this will be for their community, and that we will do the best we can to do what we do, which is to bring a professional, well-managed project forward, do it on schedule and ideally under budget. Not going to guarantee that because I'll curse myself and jinx the project, but we have a lot of really good professionals working not just on the design team and the project management team, but with Public Works, Police, and Fire, who have a lot of great experience with managing these kinds of projects. So I feel very confident in the team we have that we'll bring a good project forward for the community. As far as some particular action items already, PMA, who are our project managers, are working to get draft contract amendments for owners' project management services, as well as with KBA, Castle Booz, our design team, to amend their contracts for detailed design and construction phase. And we plan to get those this week, review them with legal counsel, with finance, and schedule a meeting perhaps next week, for the board to consider and act upon those items, and get those folks to work right away. Because we have a lot of design to do, we have a lot of permitting to do, and we don't want to lose time on that, because time on this project will be money in the environment that we're in. From there, the project team is anticipating meeting with Municipal Building Committee monthly from here on out. So Municipal Building Committee has a meeting scheduled tomorrow night to review the project. Much like your meeting tonight, we didn't say review what steps, because we didn't know. We just said we're going to review wherever we're going from here. So our Municipal Building Committee will meet tomorrow night, and they will start meeting monthly every month for the next year. That will probably increase to 2 to 3 times a month at the tail end of the stretch leading into the holiday season next year, as we finalize design and put these contracts out to bid for construction. And we will be updating the public as we go. Municipal Building Committee is a public meeting, so just like the School Planning Committee, which I know many of us served on, I think 70 meetings over the span of 6 years. Probably looking at a similar thing here. So we have our work cut out for us as far as the Municipal Building Committee level, and we'll stay in touch with the public, but they're not going to see groundbreaking or anything like that immediately, but we'll be at work, and we'll be keeping people informed. And so, again, just really appreciative, and we really appreciate the not only the approval that was given at the election, but the responsibility that comes with it. This is an enormous project, and we'll put our best behind it every day. So really appreciative to the public and the voters, and also really thankful to the Municipal Building Committee, who's worked on this for 2 years already, all the different boards and committees, including the Select Board, who've reviewed this thoroughly over the course of years, and the staff, police, fire chief, DPW director, and all their personnel have been involved, and the staff in our office as well. There's been a lot of meetings, a lot of presentations, a lot of preparation. So really so thankful to have the people that we have here, and really, really thankful to the public that they're going to give us the opportunity and the responsibility to deliver facilities for these departments that for the first time in a very long time will match the excellence of the people working in them.
That's great. Jen, do you have any comments, questions?
No, just, well said, Connor. Everything you touched upon is, as usual, spot on with, kind of capturing that. It was a great election. People showed up. There was a lot of conversation. I know this is a really hard decision for a lot of folks. And I do want to just kind of amplify that comment that, we're all affected by it as well. None of us take this lightly. And I still understand some of the folks are concerned about what that means. And I look forward to playing a role and figure out how we can continue to support the community and efforts to find and provide resources for folks wherever we can to offset the financial impact.
Much in the same. You nailed everything, Connor, specifically when you mentioned this was a very close vote. I think it was separated by 60 votes. So there's a lot of people in town who have concern, and I'm sure that all of their concern or most is born out of financial concern, and I do appreciate that. I genuinely appreciate that. We have to continue to find ways, as discussed tonight, but it's a hard decision. And I was talking with my wife, and obviously we've had many conversations around town, and this is going to be hard for us as well, right? It's not easy for us financially either. It's a sacrifice. So I'm in favor of it, and I also know it's going to be hard. So I want to express that as well, because I think a lot of people say, if you support this, then this is easy for you to do, and that's not true. So I really appreciate those people who are concerned, and I want to see what we can do to help them. But it's also an incredibly exciting time. This town is really heading in an amazing direction, and it's really, really exciting to be part of it.
Yep. Craig?
I want to reiterate what both Jen and Mark said, that it's very exciting to me to see what we're going to be able to do for our first responders and our DPW workers who take care of us on a daily basis. But I also am very much aware of the impact on people, which is why I'm excited about the opportunity to work with Connor and my colleagues on the board to find ways in which we can help people who literally have a very, very difficult time paying their taxes. Whether it's through the taxation aid or the senior relief plan or some other activity that we need to focus on for folks who are going to struggle. And absolutely all of us are impacted by it. There's no two ways about it. But I'm very excited about the opportunity for our first responders and our DPW people. I think that the living conditions they've been in are not acceptable as far as I'm concerned, and I'm very glad to see that we've got the majority of people to agree with us that we need to move forward.
Well, I feel like when I look through like the videotape in my head of from start to where we are right now, it was just like from the concept, working with Chief Partridge when he was here, talking about the needs and talking about with Chief Krajek before, you know, this has been going on for such a long time. There's so many people that have been a part of it. And, you know, really just even talking to the designers and picking the OPM. But one of the things that I'm just always going to remember is when we were standing outside, you know, holding signs, advocating for this, talking to a firefighter, and I said, you know, this is so exciting. What's the part that you're looking forward to the most? And he said, I'm looking forward to not being exposed to things that are going to cause me cancer. And I just, like, that was like a gut punch. You know, it wasn't like I'm looking forward to the new barracks or the new kitchen or the new, like, we're really talking about people's, like, health and well-being. And, you know, so I don't want to lose sight of the fact that, and I don't want to be gloom and doom either, but, like, there's a real serious consequence to not doing anything. And I'm glad that people in our community, you know, could recognize that and get behind it. And I think that this board worked very well together, you know, decision-making, you know, with the administration to get through it. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work together and problem solve and troubleshoot as we get through this whole process so that we're all going to have a wonderful outcome and something that we can all be proud of for our kids, right?
100% agree.
All right, so town administrator notes. Connor?
Just to remind people, we have another town meeting.
Never ends.
So please come to the November 13th town meeting at the Oliver Ames High School, 7 p.m. In what I hesitate to say routine because that makes it seem unimportant, but it is a much more routine agenda. It is not a project of a scale, you know, but it's important things, continuing to build our reserves, which is important for our bond rating, which is extra important when we're doing large construction projects, and important for preserving our position as we head into uncertain economic times. IOD fund for police and fire, which is important. Fixing the library roof, which is important. Capital budget amendments, so more routine items, but nonetheless very important. And so we would ask folks to come out and do their part and help us get through that warrant. It's a short warrant, I think 9 or 10 items. So as much of a sales pitch I can make, I don't think it'll be a super long night, but we do need folks to come out on Monday, November 13th at 7 p.m. at OA.
Terrific. Any select board notes?
None from me.
Just a thank you to everybody who did come out.
Yes.
Every single person who came out to vote, thank you.
Yes.
I agree.
And, you know, I think that people would be surprised if they knew the amount of, and I'm not even being dramatic when I say the amount of extra hours that were put in by Connor and the staff and the project managers, being at every event, talking about it. And Connor, you spread yourself very thin, and when you did, Sean and Elizabeth picked up the slack in the office. So the fact that we could get through that period of time, the three of you are still sitting here, although one of you is sick, sick-ish. But I really want to thank Sean. You're brand new coming in, and you hit the ground running. And Elizabeth, you're just such a champion. You just make it look so easy. So I really want to thank you, and I know the board feels the same way for making that happen. So with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Bodger.
Second, Lamb.
Bodger and Lamb, all in favor? Unanimous. And thank you, Joe, to ECAT for broadcasting for us. Have a good night.